It's been nearly a year since the launch of OnePlus 8T, but this beast still garners a lot of attention in today's world of flashy selfie cameras and foldable phones. But does it actually live up to the hype and its price point? Welcome to Jamsons, and today we will be doing an in-depth review of the infamous OnePlus 8T. Right out of the box, you get a data cable, charger, SIM eject tool, stickers, silicone case, and user guide. One big change this time around is the type of charger you get. It's a 65 watt charger which OnePlus calls Warp Charge 65. And this is a big deal because even today majority of the flagship devices do not come with that super fast 65 watt fast charging. The handset has a curved rear glass fitted inside this very prominent shiny metal ribbon which surrounds the device. The selfie camera is placed in the top left corner of the device this time round. The bottom of the smartphone consists of the dual SIM tray, but no option to increase storage, a USB 3.1 Type-C port on the bottom, a microphone, and a speaker. And unsurprisingly, no headphone jack. You will find the volume key on the left while the power key and the iconic OnePlus mute toggle on the right. Personally, I'm a huge fan of the button placements on OnePlus phones, and I'm so relieved that they've continued with the logical, ideal button placements in all the devices. The rear panel on this device is made up of glass, and the quad camera setup is placed inside a rectangular frame, which is actually a very small bump and does not bother you or your daily operations. Though I must say that the glass panel makes the device slightly slippery. The OnePlus 8T features a 6.55-inch Fluid AMOLED display. The sides of the display aren't curved anymore, which I'm very happy about, but of course this is just a personal preference. It supports a 120Hz refresh rate just like the OnePlus 8 Pro. The display is also HDR10+ certified and has a maximum brightness of 1100 nits. Since the display is completely flat, you get great viewing angles on this phone, and it definitely does not even disappoint even under bright sunlight. The OnePlus 8T runs on Oxygen OS 11 out of the box and is based on Android 11. The Oxygen OS is hands down one of my favorite OS out there, primarily because of its very simplistic and minimalistic interface, which makes your whole browsing and interacting experience very smooth and seamless. The OnePlus 8T is powered by the high-end octa-core Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor. It comes in two variants, 8GB RAM with 128GB storage and 12GB RAM with 256GB storage. The unit you see on the screen is the base variant with 8GB RAM and 128GB storage. The smartphone is capable of performing every task very smoothly, be it gaming, editing, or even multitasking. The OnePlus 8T has dual SIM card with 5G support. And of course you get all the other features which you will see in an average flagship device, such as in-display fingerprint sensor, stereo speakers with Dolby Atmos, face recognition, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.1 and NFC. Speaking of games, everything from Asphalt 9 to Battleground Mobile India ran very well with smooth, consistent frame rates. You also get the feature of playing Battleground Mobile in Ultra HD with Ultra FPS. Upon a testing, the fingerprint and face recognition worked very swiftly for unlocking the phone. The OnePlus has added the 8T with a slightly larger 4500 mAh battery compared to the OnePlus 8's 4300. This phone supports much faster charging. The OnePlus 8T was the first OnePlus device to support Warp Charge 65, which of course is OnePlus trademark. You get a slightly redesigned charger with a USB Type-C output. It charges from 0 to 100% in only 35 minutes. Unsurprisingly, like many other flagship devices in this price range, the OnePlus 8T does not support wireless charging. The OnePlus 8T continues to use Sony's 48-megapixel optically stabilized sensor for its primary camera, a 16-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera with a 123-degree field of view, a 5-megapixel macro camera, and a 2-megapixel monochrome camera. The front camera has a 16-megapixel Sony sensor. The macro camera comes with an increased 5-megapixel resolution up from 2 megapixels, and there is a new dedicated monochrome camera with a 2-megapixel resolution. The OnePlus 8T captures better, well-exposed pictures in indoor scenes and with bare minimal noise. In video mode, you now have the option to record portrait videos and videos with nightscape, and the resolution settings are very easily accessible and no longer hidden deep in the advanced settings. In ultra wide mode, there is automatic distortion correction, which does a brilliant job. But of course, you can turn that off if you want that more authentic looking distorted wide angle picture. The 5 megapixel macro pictures are good, but you need to be really close to get that subject in focus. The OnePlus 8T can record video in 1080p and 4K on both main and the ultra wide cameras. The main camera can do 30 frames per second and 60 frames per second, while the ultra wide can only do 30 frames per second. You can choose a more cinematic 21:9 ratio crop for either frame rates when shooting in 4K. Now, there is no option to record in 24 frames per second, which would have been very ideal, especially for the cinematic 21:9 mode. The OnePlus 8T also adds a new video portrait feature and works on the primary camera only and is limited to 1080p resolution. This basically uses the digital background blur behind your subject while recording. But upon our testings, we realized that it wasn't really able to capture the subject accurately. The slow-mo video offers 240 frames per second in 1080p and 480 frames per second in 720p. But the quality at 420 frames per second in 720p is not very promising. The OnePlus 8T seemed to perform fairly impressively despite it being in this fast-moving market for nearly a year. It is an iconic OnePlus package with a strong build design, seamless operating system, lag-free operations, and commendable cameras. It surely justifies its current price point, although there are a few options you might want to consider in the market if you're looking for a more camera-centric phone, like the Oppo Reno 6 Pro we reviewed last week. If you did enjoy this review, then please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to share this video to all your tech enthusiast friends and family.